And more revelations about former President Biden's final 2 years in office. There have been several books about White House aides' attempts to conceal his health. And according to the latest, Joe Biden's physical deterioration was so severe in 2023 and 2024 that advisors privately discussed the possibility he'd need to use a wheelchair if he won re-election. Faiz Shakir, former campaign manager for Senator Bernie Sanders, and Matt Gorman, former NRCC comms director and part of Targeted Victory, are here. One of the quotes from one of the books coming out is from former Obama campaign aide David Plouffe, in which he slams Biden for taking so long to leave the race. And the quote is, "It's all Biden. He totally effed us." And I just want to play this as well, because in March of 2024, this was actually said on another network.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever.
Matt, what are you hearing in Washington about concerns that there are other little tidbits that are going to be coming out in these books as they come out?
Yeah, first of all, the excerpt this morning was really damning. I mean, Biden loves to compare himself to FDR, but I think this is one similarity with the wheelchair he doesn't like. But you're right. The book comes out next week. Excerpts, the first one's today. There'll be more, as I understand it, later today and tomorrow morning as well. So the spotlight will be on Joe Biden, and a drumbeat of news will be on a way that it hasn't been in a number of months. I don't think Democrats are prepared for it. And another fear I'm hearing from Democrats close to Biden is also people will be talking in this book that haven't talked to other folks and that normally don't talk to the press. So there'll be a very insider account of this. And I will say, to that point that from Joe Scarborough, voters were well ahead of the fact that there was massive issues with Joe Biden's age, well ahead of the media, Democrats, and most elites, and they ignored it. And it was well before the June debate that there were issues in polling you saw. Yeah, in fact, Faiz, I mean, we have reports now going back to 2023, but that clip from Joe Scarborough was March 6th of 2024. I always remember the date of the Trump-Biden debate. It was Kate's first day on the job, and it was June 27th. And I put my pen down at 9:12 and said, well, this is over. When you think about the media coverage at the time, Faiz, I wonder, from your perspective, somebody who wants Democrats to be successful, did it not help the Democrats to have the media covering this up?
Well, certainly the sycophantic media, yeah, it wasn't very helpful. But what has been hurting the Democratic brand, as we've talked about before, Dana, is that there's a lack of integrity and conviction and honesty that has been hurting that Democratic brand, and it still is to this day because of some of these instances. But there's Bernie Sanders, who's probably more popular than he's ever been, both within the Democratic Party and out there in the country, because there's a sense of honesty and integrity associated with him. And so if you're looking at a direction for a Democratic Party, fighting for people who are about to lose Medicaid, about 10 million according to the budget office, that's a good place. But people have to trust that the Democrats are going to do something about it when you're in office. And unfortunately, we're still suffering from the tailwinds of how Biden operated.
Faiz, do you know, did Bernie Sanders think that Joe Biden should have dropped out earlier?
Well, the problem for a challenge for him was that he didn't have too much interactions with him. So we were trusting for a long period of time that the White House, and you guys remember it, the press people all around him, Joe Scarborough, those who were talking to the president were telling all of us, oh, he's sharp, he's doing great. And for those of us who weren't interacting with him, you're saying, okay, but you're not doing press conferences, you're not doing the Super Bowl interviews. There are reasons to be concerned. That said, people were telling us, don't wait for this debate. He's going to be great. And of course, they had us all wait for the debate, and we all saw what played out.
Matt, it's one of those things that, you know, don't believe your own hype. And in this case, it's like the Biden team they were not only believing the hype, but they were part of the cover-up. Like, to not even have interaction with these senators, leaders of the party, a huge problem. Lots more to come. Let me give you a final word on this now.
Absolutely. I mean, look, Bernie Sanders isn't a nobody. He controls a massive wing of the party, and the fact that he had no visibility into this proves kind of the wide-ranging cover-up on the Biden White House. And let's be honest, a very complicit media. And I think Democrats are underestimating the negative shadow that Joe Biden casts on their party, and they need to acknowledge it if they want to maintain their credibility. And it's going to be a reckoning, I think, in many respects, with this book coming out and this drumbeat of news in the weeks to come.
Yeah, there's more to come, indeed, and we'll see what those Washington insiders have to say. Always a fun game, indeed. Thanks so much to you both.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.